And now to the story that Biana really should have done. This is about The Princess Bride, a cult classic, one of Biana's favorite movies of all time. It has some of the most quotable lines ever. Recently, Entertainment Weekly brought the cast together for its special reunion issue, which is on the newsstands right now. And I had the privilege of talking to some of the stars for our totally awesome 80s week.
The Princess Bride.
It is a movie so fantastical, so quotable.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
So swoonable.
This is true love. Think this happens every day?
That the thought of anybody not having vivid and fond memories of The Princess Bride
Hold it. What is this?
is, well,
Totally, and in all other ways, inconceivable.
Inconceivable!
Inconceivable!
so people walk up to you unsolicited and say, please say inconceivable.
They do that, but each person thinks that it's an idea of his own.
I met up with the stars in LA where they were gathering for a reunion for Entertainment Weekly. Yesterday, we showed you how those famous lines
Have fun storming the castle!
still follow them to this day.
As you wish.
I think when I die, they'll say on my gravestone, as you wish.
Except for a nice MLT, mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich when the mutton is nice and lean.
It's happened just the other day, eating, someone comes up, he whispered in my ear, is it lean?
That line, as it turns out, was ad-libbed, and that was just a fraction of the craziness on set,
What?
much of which never made the film.
I've seen worse.
The director, Rob Reiner, would leave the room while you were doing your lines because he was
He laughs
laughing
too
too
loud.
hard.
Yeah.
But that, what a high compliment to
He's
you.
a big, sweaty laugher. And he has a very, when he goes big. It's like a Pavarotti kind of. Towards the end, once we knew it, they started to get dirtier. I wish we could find them.
really.
I think we were all hospitalized from laughing.
So the outtakes. And imagine this sight, all of the creatures and characters from this movie sitting down for lunch together.
And it'll be Carrie, a six-fingered guy, a giant, Rob. Sometimes one of the rodents of unusual size would pop in because they were doing some sort of test. So now a little person would be with us. And we'd just sit down at the big table at Shepperton and have lunch. And it was like, that's the magic of being in a classic movie like this.
The movie rested mainly on the shoulders of two unknowns, Carrie Elwes as the dashing Wesley and Robin Wright as his Princess Bride.
Was that so terrible?
For Wright, it was her very first film. You were toward the end of 500 women who auditioned for this?
Yeah, I think Rob was just exhausted at that point. He was like, just hire her. I'm tired. I'm done. We've literally read everybody. I was the last girl, I think, to read.
Hello in there!
And while Billy Crystal was the biggest name in the movie,
That's wonderful.
he was by no means its largest star. That was Andre the Giant, the 520-pound wrestler. But for a guy that big and intimidating, he comes off in the movie as
Sweetest man.
really soft.
That was his true name.
That's real.
That was his nature.
But his castmates now reveal that Andre's body was so worn down from his years in the ring, he could barely lift anything. But there's a scene where you're jumping on his back in the movie.
No, that was all done through smoke and mirrors. We had a platform, and even when I was hanging on over around his shoulders, I was actually on a ladder with a plank of wood. I mean, you couldn't put in any strain on him. I mean, even when Robin...
He couldn't even hold me. I was 100 pounds.
When you jumped into his arms?
I was on cables.
Andre died in 1993, but he will be remembered, as with the rest of the cast, as having been part of something special.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
A movie that has endured for 25 years after its release.
It's a classic little beauty fairy tale that's incredibly funny, touching, simple,
and sweet.
Honest and sweet.
That was an adventure? Was that so terrible?
Great movie, great cast, great assignment.
How's that not your favorite movie now?
It's one of my favorites now.